Hello and welcome to another episode of my travel diaries, and this week it's one that I've been really looking forward to because we're looking back at my time in Banff National Park in Canada, which was by far the highlight of my trip. It was my favourite bit because it was just beautiful. Everywhere we went was stunning, and we just did a lot of hiking, which I didn't think I would enjoy, but I actually really liked. And so for a bit I thought I'd become a hiking gal, but haven't done that much hiking since then, but oh well, just have to go back. And yeah, it was just all my favorite types of scenery, just beautiful colors, peaceful mountains, lakes and forests and rivers, and all nice greens and blues. We went in June, around the second week of June, so everything was starting to thaw, which was really nice time to go, and it was actually really warm, so that was lovely. And yes, we'll just have a look. But basically we flew from Toronto to Calgary, and then from Calgary we got a shuttle. We got Banff Airport because it was expensive but not too expensive, and it's one a friend had recommended, and compared to the others it just seemed like okay value, and it was really comfortable door to door, and the customer service was really good. So yeah, no complaints there. It all went really well, and we got dropped off at a hostel. We stayed in a hostel in Banff, which we really liked because it came with free bus passes, and it was a really beautiful hostel. It was a hostel, shared bathroom vibes, but it had really nice views everywhere and really good kitchens, so no complaints. And then we also stayed for a few nights in Lake Louise in a hostel as well, just so we'd have more time to look around there. So yes, let's get to it. So it all started with a shuttle from Calgary Airport to our hostel in Banff, which was the High Alpine Centre. It was a beautiful location, absolutely amazing. Got some brunch there when we arrived because we were starving. I got the pancakes, which were delicious. And then the hostel came with a free bus pass, which was really handy. So we went down to explore the town centre, had a little mooch around all the hiking shops, and then had a look at Bow River, which was beautiful. Then we got another bus and went to Lake Minnewanka, saw some rams, that was fun, and then just did the trail around Lake Minnewanka. But when we got to the Canyon Bridge, there was a big sign that says, if there's less than 4 of you and you don't have bear spray, don't go any further because it's grizzly bear territory, and we completely fit those criteria, so decided not to go any further. And then we got the bus, and on the way back we stopped off at Johnson Lake, and there we did the loop all the way around the lake, and it was beautiful. Absolutely loved it there. Lots of people were swimming, which was really nice. And then we did a shop in the supermarket in Banff and made dinner in the hostel. The next day we got the bus down to the town centre again, and then did the hike to Bow Falls, which was a nice easy hike if you don't like stairs, and it was very beautiful. It's probably the hike I'm least likely to do again, but it doesn't mean it wasn't very nice. And then we rented canoes and canoed along Bow River for 2 hours to Vermilion Lakes, and that was beautiful. Really enjoyed that. We had a picnic on the canoe, and then when we made it back we decided to do the Tunnel Mountain hike, which was the hardest hike we'd done yet. Looking back now, it's not the hardest that we did, but we were just not quite fit enough yet, and so we really struggled. But when we got up there we cried. It was so beautiful, probably exhausted as well, let's face it, but anyway, it was really nice. And then when we made our way back down we decided to reward ourselves with some happy hour margaritas and tacos, and that was a lovely day. So the next day we did the Hoodoos Trail, so we could easily walk from our hostel to the Hoodoos viewpoint along the village campground trail. So we did that. Had never heard or seen Hoodoos before, so that was fun. And then just made our way down to the Banff city centre along the river. Beautiful view. We had a little picnic by the river and then made our way to the town. And then we booked the gondola up to Sulphur Mountain for the evening, so we just chilled around the town centre, thought about going to the springs but we didn't like the look of them, and just made our way up at the gondola. And once at the top, just took in the views, did the whole loop around to all the viewpoints. It was beautiful, felt so high up. And then on our way down, it was just in time for sunset, so that was a beautiful ride down. We were told we might see bears underneath us, so we did spend a lot of time looking at our feet and didn't see any bears, but Doesn't matter, it was all beautiful, and we saw a lot of other wildlife throughout our time in Banff, so that was very nice. Then on the next day, it was the first day that the free shuttle to Mount Norquay ski resort was open for the season, so we decided to take it and try to do the Cascade Amphitheatre trail, and this was hard. It was a 6-hour round trail, so we dedicated the day to it, and we were climbing for a long time, and I hadn't downloaded any maps at that point because I hadn't paid for the All Trails version where you can. So we had no idea how far we were. At some point we almost gave up. We stopped to have lunch and we thought, okay, we'll just give it another half an hour and see how far we get, and if not, we'll just turn around. And luckily lunch gave us a bit of a boost in energy, and we were only half an hour from the amphitheatre, so it all worked out. And this was it. We saw lots of wildlife and it was a beautiful view. We just had a chill. And then that evening we went off to Lake Louise. We did a shop to bring with us, which we're really glad we did, but we were so exhausted when we got there that we went and had dinner, and I tried an elk burger at the hostel restaurant, which was really nice. The next day we got our pre-booked shuttle to Lake Louise. We did book this as soon as we arrived in Banff because we heard that it ran out quite quickly, and we went to Lake Louise. We dedicated the whole day to it. That's why we decided to stay a night at the hostel in Lake Louise, and we did the full Lake Agnes trail. And so you see a little lake when you get halfway up there, and then we did Little Beehive, which has a beautiful view at the top of the lake. Just that color was amazing, like nothing I've ever seen before. It looks fake, and yes, I just loved Lake Louise. It was amazing. And then from Little Beehive, you walk back down a bit and then get to Lake Agnes, which is this stunning lake that has a tea house on it where they serve tea and cake and pie. And so I had an Earl Grey and a chocolate cake, and I absolutely devoured the chocolate cake, and it was really nice, and just took in the view of the lake. And then we decided to go a bit further and do the big beehive because we were motivated. We made it all the way there, and I recommend just going to the other end of the lake because look at this view, even if you don't do big beehive. But it was definitely worth those extra climbing zigzags because the view from the big beehive is incredible. You get to see the 6 glaciers on the back, and you get a bigger view of the entire lake, so this was amazing. And then we made our way down the other side of the lake through the 6 glaciers plain, down along the little river that makes its way to the lake. And it's really funny because there's obviously not the same sediments as in Lake Louise, so the water looks really horrible, and then you get to the lake and the water looks stunning, so that was quite funny.
Where are we for this?
Lake Louise! And then we went back to the hostel and we cooked dinner. They had a barbecue there, so we made some hot dogs, and then that was our treks for the day. At this point I downloaded All Trails paying version so we could have the maps offline, which was very good. Then for the last day, got on another pre-booked bus to Moraine Lake this time, and just look at the colour of that water. It was so beautiful. Hadn't seen anything like it before, and we had a much more chill day. We just walked along the lakeside, which is just a flat, very nice little walk, and then we decided to canoe, even though it was so expensive, because we thought, what the hell? We're only here once, and just canoed for an hour. Don't have many videos of it because I was very afraid of dropping my phone in the water, but it was absolutely beautiful. Had a lovely time and don't regret spending the money at all. And then we just made our way back, and the next day was all about getting to the airport to set off for San Francisco. Hope you liked this video. If you want to hear a few more anecdotes and get a bit more details on what we did, etc., then check out my blog post about it on my website, which is linked in the description. And make sure to subscribe not to miss the rest of our trip. Next stop is San Francisco.